Craziness. I am resident of Colwood for YouTube. Joel Saints. That's my buddy Alan Gallant. We're here to review episode Dark Shadows episode 258. Easy enough for me to say. Not so much. So you get Maggie Evans, who is captured. She is locked up in the basement of the old house. Barnabas has put her there. He stuffed her away like a bad coat, but she's not alone as she's searching for her friend Sarah, the little girl, if you will. And Sarah does appear and starts singing London Bridge. They play a game of catch. And in this episode, Barnabas is starting to think, Maggie Evans is losing her mind. Um, what did you think of Barnabas in this episode, Alan?
Well, since this is 258, he's been on the show for about 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And by this time, you're starting to receive fan mail, even though he's really creepy at this point. He's still this incredible villain. This is peak kidnapper vampire, Barnabas. Super villain, beating Willie Beater, and Maggie, kidnapper. But it's turning. It's already turning because he's getting fan mail. And so they're already starting to think about, what can we do with this? And within a few more weeks, they're definitely going to have to make a decision about what to do about the popularity of Barnabas Collins and Jonathan Frid. So we're still in the dark part that was written with the intention of having him done away with at some point. So you're getting top villain here for sure, and it's getting close to the point where they're going to where Maggie is going to have her successful escape attempt. And of course, Sarah is a big part of this, and Sarah will play an even bigger part as we go along in terms of niggling Barnabas's conscience and also worrying him if he's going to be exposed. And then David gets drawn into it, and we have the final scenario through the late summer and into the fall of 1967.
Yep.
Where he's still a villain, but things are starting to change, and we're getting ready for the trip to 1795. So at this point, it's still full steam ahead, Dracula type scenario.
Yeah, I think too in this episode you have really great interaction between Carl and Fred. They do a really great job of playing off each other. Again, like you said, he's been here a little bit. He's been here a while, so the chemistry is great. You also have the fact that Carlin is saying, you can't kill her. You can't do this. That girl didn't do nothing to you. And he's sort of sticking his neck out for her. And he even goes down there. Willie Loomis does and says, "Come on, you got to turn this around. You can't be like this. You can't act crazy." Because Barnabas tells Willie, she's lost her mind. She's crazy.
Yeah, so he's immediately, that he's planning on doing away with her as soon as he says that. You can see it in his eyes when he's down there in the basement. But But this is a trope that will play itself out many times over the next couple of months. Maggie Evans must die, or whatever, fill in the blank of the person that's getting in his way. Or he has every euphemism you can think of. Must be destroyed, must be done away with, and then every once in a while he says, "I will kill you," but very rarely. He saves that for dramatic effect. It's mostly euphemisms. And again, this is mid to late 60s daytime TV, so they're kind of treading in new ground when it comes to all of that stuff. Depicting a bite, they haven't done that yet. Not really. I mean, they've shown his fangs a couple of times, but they're still a little leery of that.
I think too, what really helps Barnabas, outside of obviously Fred's acting and the way they write in the character, what sort of helps the character is they haven't really given him a full on victim yet either. They
No,
have
I mean, he's obviously he's a kidnapping creep, but he hasn't.
right.
He's bitten her a couple of times to get her doped up so that he can
Yep.
snatch her. But after, he doesn't seem to be doing that right now. He seems to be trying
Right.
to, do psychological warfare on her to try to
Yeah.
make her believe she's Josette and all of that sort of thing. But he
Mhm.
has not. He doesn't seem to be taking blood from her anymore. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like Fred's eyes too in the scene when he's down in the cellar, he says goodbye, Maggie. And she goes, see, I'm not Josette. Like she's happy
yeah,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Um and he's like, I heard you sinning. Who were you sinning to? She goes, it's a secret. I have a secret friend. He's
yeah.
like, I won't try to get it out of you. And
Thing
it
is, she's sort of telling the truth in a vague sort of way, but
mhm,
she's also like snapping because
yeah.
she's obviously been the victim of a lot of psychological warfare, a lot of fear, a lot of mental torture,
Mhm.
and so it's dark stuff when you think about it. And the only thing that really it sort of deflects from that is the fact that she has Sarah, who,
Yep.
even though Sarah is kind of detached in a way and won't answer her questions
Yeah.
straightforwardly, is still a comfort to her. And then you have Willie, who's trying to be Barnabas's conscience, and also at the same
Mhm.
time trying to say, "Hey, if you go crazy on this one, the cops are going to show up. This is going to happen." He's just trying to deflect, and get him away from the idea of killing anybody, which
Mhm.
is part of. Interestingly enough, it's part of Willie's development. He's
Yep.
developing into an ethical, moral being of sorts, from
Mhm.
being this, sullen, thieving, I'll get in a fight at the drop of a hat kind of guy,
Oh
who's
yeah.
probably spent some time in jail. He's not that guy anymore. Of course, obviously, being Barnabas's thrall puts a damper on your personality anyway, but there's other things at work here. It's obvious that this is independent of that. He's starting to develop into, he's developing some decency, you know,
Yeah.
and an
I mean,
obsession for Maggie, which continues out for a couple of years. So
even after his trip to the mental hospital.
that's right. That's right. That's right. He comes back and scares the hell out of her, tries to tell her
Yeah.
that he wasn't guilty, which he was.
Yeah. I got bullets in me for no reason, girl. Like, no. I got shot
Well, it
through
might have been karma, but it wasn't for that reason. That's
right,
for
right, right. Karma can exist, does exist in DS too. That's the
Oh, yes,
thing.
it does. It absolutely does.
Like, so, that's the thing too. Like, Dark Shadows is not a fairy tale. I mean, this is anytime you think there's about to be a happily ever after, it's like, nah, not so much.
No, no. It
But sorry, go
it's
ahead.
actually more akin to the unexpurgated tales from the Brothers Grimm, which don't all
Yeah.
have happy endings. Some of them are pretty brutal. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not. It's
Um,
not. It's not Disney.
no,
That's for sure.
no, no, and even if Disney would buy Dark Shadows, that would not make Angelique a Disney princess. No,
Mhm.
no,
No, no.
no. Uh, oh my gosh, but yeah, I do. Sharon Lynn's here. I mean, she just is so on. I mean, so is Catherine Lee Scott, but their chemistry was really good here. I mean, they're in a very small set, if you will,
Yeah.
tossing this ball, having a ball, and in a lot of ways, Sarah is in a sense speaking not I don't want to say riddles, but she's given little hints. She's not given big hints to what she is.
This is why the theory is that she has a subconscious knowledge of what's going on
Yeah.
with her brother and everything else, but it hasn't come out.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't. Sometimes she doesn't really know why she's there.
Yeah.
And then she figures it out maybe a little bit. But as time goes on, she gets more and more aware of what's happening, and
Do you?
she knows that these things are terrible secrets, and you mustn't tell anyone, and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's not the way she is at first. And these are the early Sarah episodes. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not been
Yeah.
on very long.
She's like, she goes, "Have you seen my mom and dad?" She's looking for them, and I do think she realizes she's a ghost. So I'm sort of
Sort
wondering.
of, yeah. She realizes, well, she's
Yeah.
also looking for mom and dad. She can't find them anywhere. So there's parts of that are missing.
Yeah.
Like she may know that she can walk through walls
Yeah.
and do things like that, but she's not quite sure. Oh, I'm a ghost, and it's 150 years later. It's like that kind of specifics
Yeah.
are evading her as a child. She still thinks and acts as a child does. Um, what's the first time
Yeah.
we see her? Is it after they do away with well, after Barnabas does away with what's his name, Jason? Is that the first time we see her?
Um,
That's one of the first. That's
um,
got to be really early because she shows up tossing a ball up and down by the far end of Barnabas's coffin after they leave the room.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's sometime after Jason
yeah,
Jason's death, which is just crazy. But so because Jason, they, well, wait, hold on. I know. It's actually got to be it's after Maggie's escape. I thought, well, no, sorry. Maggie, before Maggie escapes, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if Jason's around yet or not, but I do know that there's an episode where she's she's there in the hallway outside Maggie's jail cell. And she
right.
says, she's hollering, and you don't know who it is. Your little girl, and then, like she like walks away.
Yeah,
So it's like, okay, what's with this? What's this little girl doing here? And then next time you see her, she's sitting in London Bridge. I think you see her before Jason's death, but you do see her after it too. And she is, like you said, she is sitting on the cot. She's like on the,
she comes in. Yeah, she comes in at 2:55 after the initial kidnapping of Maggie.
yes, yes,
She's there just a few episodes before this one,
yeah,
actually.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. They're making very quick work of her,
yeah.
because Willie Loomis is going to say, "Hey, I saw that kid outside again."
Hmm.
And Barnabas is like, "You mean David? No, 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 a little girl."
Yeah,
And
because
then
at this
Barnabas,
point, Barnabas doesn't even know it's Sarah yet. He only
no,
knows there's this little girl around. What the hell's going on with that?
yeah, he's when she says about a secret friend, he's just like, okay, she's losing her mind.
Yeah, right. He doesn't even make him that paranoid because,
No,
yeah, he thinks that she's going nuts at this
I th-
point.
I think Willie initially is his first sort of paranoia a bit because
Yeah,
Willie,
because Willie is working around the house and he sees
yeah,
this kid,
yeah,
and it's like first Barnabas wants to like dismiss it, like you've been drinking again or whatever. I mean, whatever he's thinking, but he really can't dismiss it after a while because other people start to see her too. So
yeah. I
David sees her, and then
uh,
later it's Carolyn sees her, and then finally Dr. Woodard sees
you know what I think Barnabas honestly dismisses it with Willie a bit. I think he starts to think, man, maybe I've hit this guy too hard over the
her.
head.
Yeah, right. He's delusional because his brains are scrambled. Too many concussions.
Too many cane whacks.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
I mean, he does. I mean, the makeup crew do a good job with the black and blue marks that you
Oh my
see.
God! He's hitting him about the face because he's
Oh
got
yeah,
all this, markings all over his face. So yeah, he's not messing around. He's not. He's not spanking him with that cane.
When I was watching this on Sci-Fi Channel when I was a teenager, my brother walked in. He goes, "Why does he have the marks on his face?" I said, "Oh, he was kicking his ass with that cane there. He was
Yeah,
hitting him
sure.
with it." And he's like, "That's some sick shit." Yeah,
Yes. Well,
yeah, yeah, it
that's the
is.
'60s for you. Not as
Yeah,
wild and innocent as you think.
yeah,
Um,
no.
but
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
violence was the one thing you could always get away with on television.
Uh,
Sex part, vampire bites, too sexy. No, you can't have that right away. We'll
yeah,
save that for color, you know.
yeah.
And that's
Well,
basically what they did.
I think too it makes sense that I mean, you do see bruising on Willie's arm.
Oh yeah,
And they say about puncture marks, but they
oh
don't
yeah. They had him bite him on the wrist
yeah.
because they couldn't. They didn't want it to have like gay overtones or something from man biting another man, you know, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. They were really concerned about that back in 1967. Standards and practices would like say, "You better not do that," you know. Um, and they wouldn't even let him say vampire for a long time until I guess they must have convinced him that it was a legitimate part of. Hey, he's been a vampire for like all this
Yeah.
time, and we just never said that. We said he's a living dead and all this other stuff, but you know, not vampire. Not until Angelique says it in 1795.
Yeah.
So
I th-
they tiptoed around a lot of that stuff, which we would consider nothing today. So
yeah, I think when you're watching it, like for me, when you're watching it in the '90s, you know what Barnabas is.
sure,
But here's the thing: I never mind.
it just builds
Sorry, go
tension
ahead.
and drama by not actually
Mm.
naming him. You know, it's kind of that way. So
I I always took that because with Dark Shadows, I always took the reason they didn't use the word, like especially in the present day, because even Dr. Hoffman doesn't use vampire
no,
at first.
she
I
calls
always
him the
took it,
living part of the living dead. That's what she calls him.
yeah,
The
I
the
always took it
space
because
between living and death.
that Dark Shadows was living in a universe that maybe Dracula didn't exist at first, but that wasn't the case because they mentioned the moon landing way later on in Dark Shadows.
Yeah,
So
it's not totally out of sync with reality, but it just doesn't
right,
deal with it very often. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What's the moment of Dark Shows that they do deal with reality that you liked, Alan? Is there one?
Uh, God, it's so late in the game for me. It's like the
Mm,
first time you see a television set is like, which you don't see until like parallel time. It's in
yeah.
Buffy's room or whatever, her apartment. It's that was like, what's this? I thought they only had radios because you get a radio earlier on.
Yeah.
Um, so that was kind of weird. And the
Mm,
idea of holidays, which are very rarely mentioned, and I think they mentioned in 1970, they mentioned it's Christmas time and they're
yeah.
going to Brewster's to buy gifts or something like that.
Yes.
Department store. So that's kind of like dealing with the real world, at least in terms of a holiday.
Yeah.
But that's so rare. It's not like they were. It's not like they were trying to completely discount it, but at the same time, they really weren't interested in being totally in it either.
I do think the writers sort of felt like, look, we don't have to deal with it directly.
No,
We can just mention it and dance around it all we want.
sure, because it is its own world. It's
Yep.
Collinsport is separate place, and every time period takes place there, and or Collinwood proper. So it's its own
Mhm.
world, and I think it's really good idea to if you're doing a soap opera, especially having to crank out that many scripts in a month or whatever, a week, to have a limited set of locales.
Yeah.
Even though they had a lot of sets and they had like basement sets and they had all this stuff, it was all taking place in the general area of Collinsport.
Yeah.
I think they had one. Went to Logansport once or something, but that was about it.
Yeah.
It was just self-contained, and it makes sense on a lot of levels to keep it that way. It concentrates the action and keeps the production from having to go on some other location somewhere and complicate things. So,
Yeah.
later soaps, of course, did tons of that stuff. They actually literally went on
Yeah.
location at times, but that was when they had editing capabilities and they weren't shooting it live. So
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing too. Like the I've been going through the beginning episodes, but like you do get location shots. They're not like long shots or short little location shots of
yeah,
outside sea view or on the dock or something.
yeah, they pre-filmed them hoping to be able to use them, and so they were written in. But
Yeah.
they pre-filmed a lot of stuff. I think they went out more than once too.
Yep.
Definitely, I think they went out more than once. But they went out in '66 and just filmed a whole bunch of stuff in Essex and also in Newport to get the sense of the area. And the old house, they filmed there, and they had some walk-ups to the old house and things like that. And of course, that's when you first see Josette's ghost is, going around the columns at the old house. That's one of the reshoots they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was those location shots were really important the first year of the show, and then they went over to slides after that. Said we're just going to be real self-contained here now.
I would love for them to get like an exterior shot of somebody standing on a boat and then coming into port, like coming into Collinsport.
Yeah.
A shot from the sea.
Yeah, they stopped short of that. They did have some, like beach shots and shots of birds and things like that, but that's as far as they got with that. I think they were in Newport or something, and they filmed along the coastline there.
Yeah. Which is cool. I mean,
Essex, not only the town, but also there's the marina. That's where Roger's office was.
Yeah.
And so they had some shots of that as well.
I think my favorite mention is definitely, hey, we went into space so long ago.
Yeah.
Like we went to the moon, and it's like, okay, so Dark Shadows just mentioned outer space.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah, that would definitely be probably the most vivid reference to the outside world, no doubt.
Yeah, because they don't mention like too many real life events. They don't mention like a bunch of stuff that went. They don't mention the Vietnam War.
No, not at all. Nothing to do with the hippies or the Summer of Love or any of that stuff. No presidential candidates. None of that stuff. Yeah, they stayed away from all that current event stuff.
Though when you're watching beginning episodes, they do mention the sheriff election. They said you were elected sheriff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's not really a big deal. It's like,
no, that's just local stuff.
Yeah,
he probably won 25 votes to 10 or something. So. Yeah. Knowing Patterson, that's about all he got. So,
like our ballot, your ballot box isn't too big. Yeah, not too many people live in this town.
That's right. All the crooks voted for Patterson because he can't solve crime to save his soul. So, we love Sheriff Patterson, but he really wasn't very good at solving crimes.
But if you want to find the best shots, the best cops who know how to shoot, you go to Collinsport. Oh. They will get their man with those bullets.
That's right.
Just ask Willie.
Yes, ask Willie. He got a back full of them.
Yes, he did.
I think when they first put him in the hospital, he was absorbing oxygen through his wounds rather than his lungs.
No, none of the Collinsport police departments would be stormtrooper worthy ever, because they know how to hit a target. I've always had a working theory that Barnabas showed the stormtroopers how to shoot, but that's just me.
This is how you miss.
Yes, yes. This is you're holding that gun all wrong. You should hold it
Supposed to be
higher.
aiming over my head, not
Yes,
at me.
yes. More up here. That's where I shot my wife. Up here,
That's
up
right. That's
here.
right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. God. I also have a working theory that Barnabas taught Michael how to drive. So
Yes.
why not, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
Taught him how
yeah,
to hit pedestrians.
yes, yes. Hey, Quentin got it good, right?
Yeah.
Um, that was fun. I think that's the first. There's two moments I laughed in DS history.
Hmm.
Quentin feigning for when they were him and Evan Hanley were summoning the devil,
Yes.
because it's David Selby when he faints. You're not expecting it. It
No.
just it's funny, and
Yes.
then when Barnabas hits the pedestrian, it's
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes. Grant
It,
Douglas,
it's,
fresh
it's a
from his gig at the Top Hat Lounge.
yes, yes. And if you want to, and the best thing to do if you want to like recreate this, play some Grand Theft Auto, and just catch a pedestrian on the corner at the right time.
That's right. No
That's
problem.
all you got to do.
And scene.
That's
Cut
it.
and print.
Though you will get an auto. I will say this because I've done this. You will get an automatic 2-star wanted level when doing
Hmm.
this. Because every time I've done this, oh, I said you're going to hit that pedestrian. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Thump.
Uh, and yes, I do hit the brakes like Barnabas did.
Yeah.
And somehow I still hit the building,
Hmm.
depending on what building. I hit like there's houses in Red Dead Redemption, or
Hmm.
sorry, Grand Theft Auto.
Hmm.
Um, and on one corner there's like this small one-story house, and there was this prostitute standing there. So I figured, okay, I'll just run into the prostitute. What the hell, why
Hmm.
not? I hit her, and I hit the house, the front of the
Of
house.
course.
Oh my god. But yeah, that's neither here nor there for this. What's your favorite scene?
Uh, my favorite scene is the whole thing between. I think that Catherine does a really good job of playing the woman on the edge in
Yeah,
that whole scene with Barnabas. She's also really good. It's an extended scene, really, because it starts with Sarah there, and she keeps
yeah,
going back and forth from hope to fear and back again during that whole scene. Catherine does as Maggie,
yeah.
and she does a really good job of that. That's a lot of work for her in this. So I like that, and I also like Frid's reactions throughout the whole conversation that they have.
Yeah, him. My favorite scene is the aftermath, him lighting the candles, and Willie's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yes, I'm sure."
Mhm.
So Barnabas knows this woman's lost it.
Right. It's a
Um,
great. It's also one of those scenes that gets repeated variations on the theme a
mhm.
lot in those early months because again, Willie is trying to keep convincing him not to go on some kind of rampage and just kill
Yeah.
everybody that's in his way.
And even after Willie like gets shot up, you have him trying to drive David crazy. We covered that a bit here.
Hmm.
It's I feel Maggie's is a little more intense because she's been held prisoner.
Yes, exactly.
Um,
She's
where
the
they
proximity is total and constant to the threat of danger.
Yes, yes. And hey, this is ultimately going to lead to the introduction of
Yep.
Dr. Julia Hoffman.
Yep.
So Grayson Hall will
Yep.
join the show.
Yep.
So eventually.
Grayson
Uh,
saves the show, and in some ways she does. I mean,
yeah.
she that once they all if it wasn't enough that Barnabas is getting the letters, then the chemistry between those two, which is pretty quick, even when he's threatening her constantly, there's something there you can tell. It's
I think that's the one person too you could always count on that would go on an investigation too, because
Mhm.
that's how her sort of prior to her journey to Collinsport, again, she takes on Maggie as a patient and she's trying to figure out, okay, what happened to this woman?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. She's
and
very and she's in the early episodes. She's very sort of sly. We know that she's on to something, but she's being very, very close to the vest. about the
Yes.
whole thing. And but the detective element, which will be used later in her
Hmm.
personality, is very strong. She's incredibly
Yes.
intelligent and inquisitive, and she knows when something's up. She's always had that, and that's what what's one of the things people admire about the character.
Yeah.
And
And this,
later, she becomes, full partners with Barnabas when he becomes human, more or less, um, and they start solving stuff together. They go full
Mhm.
Scooby Doo. So
Yeah, and it's a trait that doesn't end either
right,
because she does this when she's looking into Charles Delaware Tate paintings.
yeah,
She's trying to look for the portrait of Quentin,
hmm
and
yep,
she's trying to find out. Okay, and then when she meets Grant Douglas, she realizes this is Quentin.
yeah. She
Um,
has to figure out what happened to him and why and all of
yeah,
that. So
yeah. You
yep.
think? You think? Here's one for you. Do you think Quentin just went crazy?
You mean like 1995 Quentin?
Well, well,
Or
no,
you mean modern 1970 Quentin that's Grant Douglas for the first time when we first see him?
yeah. I will apologize for not specifying on that one.
Well, that's okay because he's all over the place.
Yeah, but
He's everywhere.
he's
Um,
yeah, the 1970 Grant Douglas that we get because he
okay,
doesn't he calls himself Grant Douglas. He doesn't call
right.
himself Quentin.
Yeah, that's true. And I think, well, he has lost his memory, obviously,
Yeah,
somehow. Uh,
yeah,
Probably from drinking too much, God knows. But anyway, he's somehow lost his memory, but it's almost like it was a traumatic memory loss because
yeah.
he's immortal and he's lost Amanda,
Hmm.
and so he drifts around. He's like Wolverine. He can't be killed. He's not
Yeah,
going to get old. He's all of this weird stuff, and as the years go by, he decides to become somebody else, and then after a while, he forgets about who he really is.
yeah,
Uh, and this is the state that we find him in when he shows up in Collinsport again. Now, I mean, he refers to, they refer to the the top hat in, bar or
yeah,
whatever it is. He's got this, so we know that he's probably still leading a somewhat dissipate life, in
yeah,
the same way that like Wolverine does, because he's
yeah.
depressed a lot.
And
He's lonely and he's depressed. So I think that's all going on, and it's a lot.
yeah, and
Uh,
Alan's right here too. It's very much like Logan. It's very much like Wolverine.
hmm
The way he's living his life,
Yeah.
very distant, very alone.
hmm
It's just the biggest unanswered question is how did he lose his memory? Uh,
Right. Right.
I mean that's really, and it's interesting too because he didn't just lose his memory from Barnabas trying to run him over. He
No. No.
lost it prior to that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, no, Barnabas
Yes.
running him over didn't help.
Didn't help. No.
No,
Probably knocked a few other brain cells out, um, but yeah, he's suffered a lot of trauma, and
no,
also losing the portrait and not knowing what's gone on with that early
yeah,
on was, something
yeah,
else to add to the trauma.
yeah. Because Tate says that the portrait was destroyed, and it's he because Tate's lying.
Well, he painted
Uh,
over it,
yeah,
obviously. Yeah,
yeah.
he
He
just
he
totally
took it.
painted over it.
He took it with him.
Yeah,
Tate did,
yeah.
and it's like, okay, Tate's a sly ass son of a bitch.
Oh
It's like,
yeah, I mean, we saw him painting over it in
mhm,
1897 with white
yep,
paint.
yep,
And of course, we don't know at that point that he's going to paint a view of New South Wales on it, but that's what he does.
yeah. Yeah, that was one of the really fun angles. It's like, okay, what are they doing with Charles Delaware Tate here?
Right.
Because this character's not just going away.
No.
Um, I mean, he goes away, but there's something coming
hmm
with him.
He still has a role to play, obviously, as Harrison Monroe. So,
I, I leave this question to anybody who wants to leave it in the comment section. What do you think? How do you think Quentin lost his memory?
yeah.
So that's a fun one because you're not really wrong, really.
No,
Just
it's something that was never really fully fleshed
no.
out. So,
No, it was never revealed too. I
right.
mean, that's the fun part about that. I loved when the Dark Shadows writers didn't always answer everything, especially when it was something. It feels little, but it's like, okay, what happened here?
Right.
You know.
Right.
But yeah, this is was this episode was a lot of fun. Try to talk better. Uh, Anything you want to add, Alan, before we go?
Yeah. The old amnesia trick is an old soap opera trope too. Somebody
Yeah,
forgets, they lose their memory, and they come back to town, and don't you know who I am? All of that stuff happens. So that was something that I'm sure that had occurred to them. Hey, we could do this. This is something that works with audiences, that sort of thing. But no, overall, getting back to 258, this episode is a great sort of a linchpin of Barnabas as career villain. Before
yeah,
he becomes career hero or anti-hero at the very least. So it's a really good episode, and the following episodes after it are really good too because it's building up to some cool stuff.
yeah. They're building up to one badass escape.
Yeah, yeah.
That whole sequence of him chasing after her is
Hmm.
just amazing.
It's incredible. They must have used 2/3 of the studio to
Yeah,
build all those tunnels and do all that
yeah.
cool stuff.
And the lighting too was really good. I
Hmm.
mean, for that chase sequence, it's dark.
Hmm.
It's really, really good. Uh, one of the best chase
Yeah,
scenes
it's a classic episode in its own right.
you'll see that's not in a movie, for sure. Um, but yeah, great episode. Uh, Whatever you guys want to do tomorrow, if you guys want to do another episode of DS, we will.
Okay.
Just hit me up and we'll do something tomorrow. If not, then we'll do if nobody picks an episode, then we'll do MacGyver: The Last Stand episode, which is fun.
Okay.
I
All right.
know. So link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel, Colin Support After Dark, is going to be in the description box. You can get Alan on Facebook and ask him all sorts of souvenir questions because that man knows his shit. Okay. Have a safe night, buddy.
You as well.
Bye bye.